Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleeds podcast. I'm Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
But I'll tell you what, if I was any better, I'd be peanut butter and jelly.
That's good.
I
You'd be
know
a
it is.
combo.
I'd be a heck of a combo and one of the best lunch sandwiches known to mankind.
Yeah, that's number one.
Maybe
I would
not
say.
even maybe not even just lunch, just sandwich in general. I mean, I'm pretty sure that that's a delicious dessert. I would eat peanut butter and jelly for dessert.
Sure.
I would eat peanut butter and jelly. Like if somebody had little peanut butter and jelly triangles and they brought them out after dinner, I'd be like, oh, what a great dessert.
Triangles, huh?
I mean, I feel like if they're bringing it out like as something fancy, right? They're
Right.
like cutting
Yeah.
it, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just
Like
like
a
throwing out.
display of
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. A little gamesmanship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I'm sure that was probably on both of our Mount Rushmores of sandwiches.
Mhm.
Long time ago. I don't remember anything, but yeah, I'm sure it was.
We've had so many Mount Rushmores at this point in time. I can't even tell you what's been on what.
Yep. Same.
We'll probably be able to do them all over again and have maybe the same, maybe different,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
different, maybe different. Yeah. So today, we're in a weird time of the year. Got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Not a lot of crazy stuff going on in the life, but maybe we've got playoff NBA playoff basketball.
Yeah.
We had 2 playing games yesterday, 2 playing games today. We'll have 2 more playing games tomorrow and 2 more playing games on Friday.
Mhm.
And then I believe the playoffs start on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, the real playoffs.
Yes.
So, is this considered the playoffs?
To me, it is.
I
I
was
think
hoping you would say no.
I
I was
think
hoping
technically it's not.
for the way that because we talk about how that play in that last game of the year or whatever
Yeah.
in baseball, and I was hoping you would say no, because you say that is
To
playoffs.
me, that's the playoffs. That's the it's even more exciting than the playoffs because it's a one game elimination.
So stupid. All right. Anyway,
But the intensity is going to be as high as
yeah.
we don't need to get into.
You know what? If baseball did what the NBA does, I think I would feel better about it because baseball is a series sport. I feel like just randomly all of a sudden one game, and I get it. Win more games. You don't have to be there. I get all that, right? I understand that, and I believe in that. But maybe they take 4 teams and they say, all right, you two, top two, play each other. Winner, you're in. Loser, play the winner of the bottom 2 teams. Winner of that game, they're in. I kind of like that. I kind of like the way they do this play-in tournament.
You know, it was funny. I just saw the other day that LeBron, like 2 or 3 years ago, when I think it was 21, when they first brought this up and they were going to start it.
Yeah.
LeBron said something in a press conference right after they came out with it. He's like, whoever came up with this should be fired. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
And because
And
of
they've
it, he's
been
in
every year or they missed it. By the way, they did beat the Pelicans. I mean, we can just jump right into it.
Let's
Probably.
do it. Absolutely. Yeah.
They beat the they beat the Pelicans. I'm wearing a Pelican shirt today, but they did beat the Pelicans to get the 7th seed. Congratulations, you played the Nuggets now.
So everybody was talking about that before the game. If you are LA and your kryptonite is the Denver Nuggets, I mean, you were in the conference championship last year against Denver, and you haven't beat them in 2 years. Like the last 2 years, they've knocked you out of the playoffs. And you know that if you win, you're going to have to play the Nuggets. If you lose, you potentially play Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are the 1 seed.
Right.
However, you're talking about a much younger team and blah, 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 and they're like, would that be better? So the point is, though, if you lose that first game of the playing tournament, now you legit only have one opportunity.
It's not a risk worth taking.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That people even think that a team would do that kills me.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that I should lose one game so I can win the second game. But if I lose that game, now I don't get in the playoffs at all. Now we're in the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
Or I'm in the playoffs. Yeah, I want my chance at a 5-game series. Is it 5 game in the first round? 7 in the first round?
7 all the way through.
It's a lot of
A
basketball.
lot of
They're gonna be
basketball.
playing basketball till July.
Yeah, they pretty much do now.
It's like what
Yeah.
June? It's the middle of June, isn't it? Is it
Yeah.
first week of June, middle of June, something like that?
When the finals start or when
When they end usually.
oh it's at least into the second week, third week, pretty close to July, I think, at this point.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Or maybe because they did move because they moved it up, but maybe they moved the season up a week to
But it
fit the
was
play
because
in.
of the playing
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah,
Yeah, they moved
yeah.
it up so they could do the playing
So
tournament.
they're still into late June
That's
mostly.
insane. But congratulations. I let the boys stay up last night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Parker, big LeBron fan.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you the God's honest truth. And I told Parker last night as we were watching the game, they got to get the ball out of LeBron's hand. Did you watch that game at all?
Yep.
They've got to get the ball out of LeBron's hands at the end of the game. It was killing them. Number one, he was dead tired from guarding
Yeah.
Zion Williamson because Anthony Davis got in foul trouble. LeBron took a couple charges in the game. Like, let's go. 40 years old, taking charges from 25-year-old grown giant men. But, do what you got to do. LeBron's built different. I mean, legit, as a 40-year-old, he's not built like any other 40-year-old, 39-year-old, whatever.
No.
He's not built like any other 39-year-old either. I'm not here like pumping him up. I'm saying he's old. Like you could see him get old last night.
Yeah.
It was bad. True. It was bad. He had like 3 turnovers, missed some shots. He made one fall away jumper in a corner, but it's like at that point in time, you let them back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And they just kept going to him. And then when they would go away, thank God Anthony Davis was there to get offensive rebounds. Why are you not
last
running?
one was huge with like 16 seconds, 14 seconds left.
Why are you not going through Anthony Davis at this point in time? He's dominating when he has the ball. He had the ball 3 times and scored all 3 times in the last 2 minutes, but he only touched the ball 3 times. He came over and he sat in a corner and he waited and waited and waited. And LeBron would get the little pick and have Reeves man come on him, and it was usually little Alvarez or whatever that guy's name is, and then he would just wait and throw the ball away. And then the part that irritated me the most that I kept telling Parker that like he's got to get out of this game is he's just walked down the court and he didn't pay. He played terrible defense at the end.
The whole Lakers team played terrible defense yesterday, but yes.
But especially LeBron. I mean, he wasn't paying attention to Zion. Zion takes a back cut because he was upset because of what happened. He's dead tired. Zion gets a back cut to the backdoor cut to the basket, wide open dunk, ties the game.
Zion was dominating that game until he got hurt.
Yeah, and if he doesn't get hurt, which by the way, what did they end up saying that? Because all I heard was leg pain or left leg pain.
He did something to his hamstring.
Was that what it was?
His hamstring. I don't know exactly.
Because he was walking off like I felt like that dude looked like he could still play.
But he's out for the second playing game.
He is out for the second playing game. Okay. Yeah. Because Kenny after the game was like, nah, man, lower leg injury. That's it. Just lower leg hurts. I mean, I don't know about that. Yeah. But then again, those guys don't know what the actual thing is. Nobody said it. But my point is LeBron hurt them at the end of the game. He was tired. He didn't hustle down the court. He was making people, when I watched a lot of LeBron this year. And when he gets tired at the end of games and he's got the ball in his hand and it's ball dominated, they are so good when they move the ball. When Russell's playing well and he's got the ball in his hands and they move the ball, they look really good. That's what gets them to the game. And then in the last 2 minutes, now it's just give the ball to LeBron, get a smaller guy on him and see what he's going to do. Mm-hmm. But when if he misses and then transition defense, he's walking down, pointing out like, you take my guy over here. And now everything's all goofed up. Reeves. Why do I keep calling him Reeves?
Austin Reeves.
Yeah. He got put on Zion like 3 times and it was like Zion just ran by him. And what do you expect him to do? You're pointing at him, telling him to guard him. And then you're looking at him. I told Parker, I said, if I was Austin Reeves, I'd look at LeBron and say, would you run or get out? Either get down the court or get out because you're killing us. Somebody's got to tell that old man. I love LeBron James. I think he's an unbelievable basketball player. To be doing what he's doing at 39 years old is insane. But if you can't play at the end of a game, bro, you're hurting your team. He has to know that, right?
What's funny is he looked not only in the game, but after the game, they interviewed him. And I realized he looked it really because he just needs a haircut and a beard shape up,
And
but
he didn't have his just for men in, dude. He had so much gray showing that
yeah,
he never ever
I was gonna
has.
say he looked like real
So bad.
ragged, like
Yeah.
he was
Oh yeah.
very unkempt and
Yeah.
just yeah. But anyway, he'll have a couple days to get ready, and
And
then
be in the barber shop, probably do a podcast in there while he's in there.
sure, sure. And then they'll then they'll lose their next 4 games, and that'll be it. But um anyway,
Parker's gonna be so bummed out.
I'm sorry, Park. I love you, buddy, but it's just it's going to be a 4 or 5 game series. If it goes 6 games, you can almost consider that a Lakers win of the series. Like it's I don't
You know
think
what
it's
sucks is I kind of feel bad for AD because it's all about LeBron's gonna hand this team over to Anthony Davis and da da da. He's not giving Anthony Davis any opportunity at the end of games.
yeah. You wonder how they how they talk about their end of game offense and how they it's you the guy with maybe the highest IQ in the league. It's fine to put the ball in his hands. He's going to
Fine,
try to make the
fine. He's not
sure.
finding anybody. Yesterday he wasn't even looking, or he would get triple teamed and then try to look and get a ball deflected. You can't do that. That's not LeBron. That's not the LeBron we know and love.
Give it up, get it back,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Anyway, uh, good for them. Now the Pelicans play. Um, who just played?
Last night they played
Oh,
Sacramento.
the Pelicans play
Yep,
Sacramento,
Sacramento
who
knocked out.
the Golden State Warriors. That's what I really want to talk about. Is of course, that's going to be the big topic all day. I didn't get to watch much today, but I'm sure everybody's talking about are the Warriors done? Is that dynasty
Mm-hmm.
over and all that kind of thing. Um, and I did listen to a podcast today, the Hoop Collective, Windhorst and a couple other writers, and they were talking about they were all in agreement like this isn't no, it's not they're not going to win another championship, but it's not they doubt they don't have to break it all up. I think most people are kind of on board with if you do something with Draymond Green, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be really hard as basketball fans, of course, to see Steph or Clay play for anybody else. And they're both still good enough. Now, Clay was terrible yesterday, and
Yep.
he didn't score, I don't think. He missed every shot, and he has not been as good this year.
He's been
But
up and down. I mean,
it
there were points in time this year where he wasn't in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. Like
right.
he was not in the end of game lineup.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that he still averaged like 18 a game this year, and I thought he was down way more than that. But anyway, yes, he struggled real bad yesterday, and he had his worst year, his worst season of his career. But he's still a pretty serviceable player. He's not a great defensive player like he used to be, I don't think anymore. But he can still shoot. He's still one of the best shooters in the league. He had a terrible night last night. And Steph is poor Steph has had to carry the load. Those guys were all agreeing that they're not even in the play-in tournament if Draymond Green doesn't miss 20 games because he's a fool,
Yeah.
right? So everybody's like, if this is it, first of all, they're not in the playoffs now because of Draymond Green. No matter what happened last night, Draymond Green's the reason. If he was and they're like they were 11 games over 500 with Draymond Green playing this year, and they were a game under 500 when he did not play.
How about the last game of the year? Draymond Green double to end the year. Did not take a shot.
I love that.
That's insane.
And that proves that he's still very valuable.
I
to this
totally
team.
agree.
It's
I totally agree. That doesn't mean I like
when he's
him
on the floor.
That doesn't mean I like him, but
Right.
yeah. And the reason I don't like him is because how can you trust him?
Yeah, 100%.
Like even
Correct.
Steph's annoyed with him at sometimes it looks like now. Like
He
even
cried
Steph,
last time when he got
Yeah.
kicked out. Did you see that?
I
Did
didn't
we
see him
talk
cry,
about
but
that?
I saw him put his head in his hands and was
He cried on the floor. I watched it 6 times. He was crying. He put his head in his jersey,
I
and you
saw
could
him put his
see
head in his jersey.
like it was almost a hard cry for a second. I'm telling you. And he came out, and his eyes were all red, and it wasn't just from like he
Yeah.
was trying to rub them to make it look like that. You could tell he was crying because he was so upset, so frustrated about that, and and that poor guy has had to carry this team on his back all year long and times in the past. It's just so tough. And like he's 36 or whatever too. I mean, he's
Yeah,
getting up there
he's
too. I
getting up
mean,
there too.
it's just I feel so bad for Steph. He's still my favorite player in the league. And I hate that he's not in the playoffs. And they do still have, Kuminga and Moody and
That I can't even say it's like three letters for his last name starts with a P. The kid just came on all of a sudden out of nowhere. And
oh, Pajimski.
that maybe that's it.
Yeah. And they call him Pods or
Yeah,
whatever.
pods.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
pods.
rookie. He was great. He played a ton this year. Yes, him, Trace Jackson, Trace Jackson Davis, I think, who started at center for them last night.
Yeah.
Anyway, they've got a decent core of young guys too. That if Steve Kerr can figure out how to kind of blend everybody together and get wins, and if Draymond Green can stay effective, and if Clay can stay effective, they don't have to rely on Clay and Steph as much as those guys keep developing, but they're still there to space the floor really well.
Yeah. So you think Steph, like in the next couple years, just becomes a spot up shooter? Because he could stay in this league for a million years and just be a spot up shooter.
Yeah.
It'd stretch floor. I just can't see him wanting to do that. I can't see him being like, you know what, I just want to keep playing. I'm just going to go stand in a corner and hit as many threes as I can.
Yeah, I mean that hasn't been his game because he's his game is moving a ton. I mean,
Absolutely.
he's the best conditioned guy in the league probably because all he does is run and come off screens and curls and all that kind of stuff, and he tries to get himself open for shots. It's going to be hard to transition into a different kind of player. I think he could absolutely do that, of course. Um, but maybe he does that, or maybe he's like, you know what? Had a really good run. I won 4 championships as the best
Two
player on a team.
MVPs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Finals MVP,
yeah,
top
yeah.
20 player to ever play the game. Maybe the one of the like if you go back and look at generational type players, like you can call them whatever you want,
Oh,
but without a doubt changed the way a whole generation of players play.
100%.
Uh like that, I mean, that's all Steph Curry.
Yes, absolutely. Um,
I mean, Ray Allen could shoot.
mhm.
Reggie Miller could shoot. None of them did what Steph Curry did
Steph Curry created another level.
yes,
And
and created what we see so many people try to be now.
yeah,
Unfortunately,
and
it
it's
kind of
ruined the
sucks.
game.
It has in some ways. I mean, in some ways, it has.
No, yeah, I've been saying that for a long
What's the
time.
kid from BYU that Jimmer Fredette,
Fredette.
right? I mean, it just run around and shoot, run around and shoot, run around and shoot a three as far as you can,
Mhm.
right?
He
And
could do it though. I mean,
he could, but obviously he couldn't do it at the level that Steph could, right? I mean, because he couldn't even make it to the. I mean, he played a couple games in the NBA, but
he's like he's like the MVP in China every year now.
yeah,
He averages like
yeah,
40 a game in China,
yeah.
something like that,
Yeah.
which is really good. I mean, they have,
There was a story he made. He got caught up to the Knicks. He was in the G League. I guess he played for the Knicks, and he came up, and the security guard asked for his pass when he was going in through the players' entrance, and would not let him in. Was like thought it was a fake. Told him no, absolutely not. And he's like, "Oh man, I'm Jimmer Fredette." Like this, and the guy would not let him in the arena.
Yeah.
They had to get like the general manager or somebody down to okay him to come in.
Did you not watch the 2014 NCAA
Come
tournament?
on, man. Yeah, come on.
Yeah. So the Warriors, I hope they don't completely dissolve. I hope they don't completely go away. I would love to see a couple more years of them at least trying to compete and do whatever adjustments they think they need to make. And I just want to see it as long as I can. I was really disappointed that they lost, but anyway, but so they're gone. Pelicans and the Kings play for the 8th seed now. And so they're going to get to play the Oklahoma City Thunder. Whoever wins that. Uh, do either one of those teams beat the Thunder in a series?
Um, hmm. I don't think the Pelicans can. Uh, I'm very interested to see what happens tomorrow with Brandon Ingram. Did you see him? Brandon Ingram just like he was sitting on the bench the whole time. Their whole team's standing up. He's sitting on the bench. I mean, he didn't just stay there. I mean, they had huddles and stuff, and he got out, put his hand in, did all that, but did not see the floor in the last 8 minutes of that game.
The look on his face too during all those timeouts.
I mean,
He was
Brandon,
not happy.
the look on Brandon Ingram's face always looks like that.
But but
I
I
really like him too as a
yeah,
player. I think
oh,
he's a
absolutely.
phenomenal player.
And he just got back from injury.
So what did we hear? Have you heard anything why that happened?
He wasn't playing well.
And
He
then
wasn't playing well.
but then Zion goes out and it's like, okay, you may
I
not be
thought it
playing
would have
well,
put
but
him.
you
Yeah.
maybe you're not playing well, but you've been one of I mean, there are parts of the year where he's been the best player on that team.
Oh yeah.
By like Zion, it maybe averaged 30 or 28 or 27, whatever he averaged, but there's a lot of most nights, sometimes Brandon Ingram's best player on that floor.
Of course. Yep.
You can have a bad day, but when you're the best player or one of the top two, shouldn't you be in that game?
Yeah. Yeah. That was interesting. And from what I understand, he left immediately after the game. He didn't talk to the media. That also makes me think he was
Something
pretty
happened.
unhappy about that. I don't know, probably a combination of how he played and being benched at the end of the game,
Yeah.
end of a close game. Um, just because of how good they were, and they ended up with, I think, the second best record in the NBA. Oklahoma City, despite the worst commercial on television right now between SGA and
I'm
Chet Holmgren,
so irritated. Why does everybody think that's so bad?
it's the worst commercial. It's so bad. It makes my skin crawl.
What a pro wants,
It's
what a pro needs, whatever makes me happy sets me free.
that was 70 times better than the what they did on that commercial.
I disagree. I
It
thought they did. So I
so
heard a
bad.
conversation yesterday. Do you think they purposely sounded that bad, or do you think they were just out there? Do you think they were just going through the motion,
I
like
I th
actually singing?
I think they were put in a position to do something that was a really dumb idea that somebody at AT&T, who
AT&T, I
is it
think. Yeah,
AT&T?
I think so.
Uh came, in marketing came up with an idea and they put it together and they're like, we're gonna make these guys sing this song and because they probably heard it that morning on the radio on the way in or something like that. And they're like, yeah, let's do this. It'll be a funny idea. And then they do a real weird, even though they're already together the whole time, coming out of this building, down the steps to this bus. They sing this song that they try to make look improvised, kind of, and then they do it like they dap it up after they're finished, even though they're together the whole time and they're getting ready to get on the bus together. So they never mind. Um,
I love
it's
it.
it's so bad. I mean, it's
Love it.
oh gosh. I almost didn't watch the NCAA tournament because it was on every single commercial break.
Constantly,
Oh man.
constantly.
And I thought after the tournament was over, we would see it less, and
No,
we're not seeing it less, buddy.
no, it's on TNT every single time the
Yeah,
NBA is on.
it's such a bad commercial. Um, okay, for me, it's OKC. They win it in maybe 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
Either team.
I think Sacramento comes out against Pelicans. I think, dude, I love watching Demonis Sabonis. I think that's probably why, because I just like watching him
I
play.
love DeMontis bonus.
I
Absolutely.
love watching
100%.
him play. I hope he does. I hope they come out, but they've got a lot of really good people on that team. I mean, that's a really good team.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, you got
And they
Darren
were,
Fox.
yeah. I was sorry. Malik Monk didn't even play the other night.
Yeah, I know.
He's been really good all year.
Yeah, Malik Monk, Darren Fox, Keegan Murray, Demontis Sabonis. I mean,
Keegan Murray is,
dude, he's just so that kid is so good. They've got a lot of so good players,
yeah.
and I think they can. I think they get. I don't think that Alvarez kid can have a game like that 2 in a row. I feel like he got up for that LA game, and it'd be hard for him to keep that rolling.
Okay, so real quick before we dive into the rest of the playoffs, we saw just before we started recording tonight, the Sixers beat the Heat. The Sixers get that 7 seed. They play the Knicks in the first round, which is really interesting. I filled out the pick 'em
$1 million,
thing the
yeah,
other
the
yeah,
ESPN $1 million.
and I ended up picking the Sixers to go to the Eastern Conference Finals,
Okay,
okay, against the Celtics. So I think they beat the Knicks, but for the Knicks to grab the 2 seed on the last day of the year and Jalen Brunson another 40-point game and to do it, to get all the wins they've gotten with all the injuries they've had and their second best player out
yeah,
a lot of the season and
mhm.
out the rest of the season, Julius Randle's out. How good Jalen Brunson's been. He's going to get MVP votes. Um, it's crazy. So I don't want to discount the Knicks too much. Um, I do feel like so the Sixers have won, I think, like their last eight or nine games, and they're like 30 31 or 32-8 on the season when Joel Embiid plays or something like that,
I believe that.
which is crazy. Um, so if that's the case, if Embiid is going to get his normal, 30 and 13 or whatever,
Hit 23 tonight
yeah,
because
yeah, he was down a
I
little bit.
had like a 8 leg parlay, and all I needed was hit for him to get 23 and a half, and he got 23. I missed it by a hook.
Okay, Jontay Porter.
Missed it by a hook.
Um,
We'll get to that later.
so as long as Embiid is healthy enough to play to his at least to at 85, 90% of his capability, it's going to be really hard to beat the Sixers. And then when Nick Batum plays like he did tonight,
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting contributions from
He
those
tried
two
to
guys.
give it away though. Same
Yeah,
thing the Lakers did yesterday, being up by 12 or something like that, and then and then all of a sudden, boom! The NBA is insane the
I
way that
know.
happens.
I know it. Okay, so you have that 2-7 matchup right now as we're recording. You got the Bulls and Hawks in that 9-10 seed game. Go Bulls, of course. But whoever comes out of that plays the Celtics. I'm not even going to ask you if there's any chance because there's not. The Celtics are going to beat whoever comes
Whoever
out.
they put in front of them.
Yeah, whoever comes out of the in the eighth seed. Whoever wins that game is going to have to beat Miami anyway. And I think Miami is the best of the three teams left.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, Celtics easy. Hey, just jump back in. All right. To the headphones, I mean.
Really?
The Celtics
Headphones haven't been working?
haven't been on the
I
whole
don't
time.
understand these headphones. It doesn't make any sense to me.
That the 4-5 matchup in the East. So we'll go through this quick. The Cavs and the Orlando Magic. Very interesting. The 4-5s are always really interesting.
Yep.
Um,
I like
guess
the
on that.
I don't know. I like the Cavs, but they're such an up and down team that you don't know who's going to show up on the court. But I think they've got more talent, so I would say the Cavs.
Okay. All right. This is really a toss up for me. I know Orlando's really, really good defensively, and they're not very good offensively. Um, the Cavs, I guess, yeah, the Cavs I expect to be better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard because they would go through stretches where they win 5, 6 in a row or something like that,
Yep.
or 6 out of 8 or something, and then they'll
Lose
lose
4 straight
four
games.
straight. Yeah. So toss up. I'll say maybe Orlando just to have fun with it.
Hello.
Here, okay,
That's my
ready for
guy.
this one because
Yeah.
I might end up going to game 4.
Ooh,
Bucks Pacers.
nice.
Bucks Pacers.
As a season ticket holder, you have options, I guess, right?
I did. I missed the times to like kind of designate tickets for myself or whatever, designate the
Yeah,
opportunity to buy them because I didn't know what days they were going to be playing on. I didn't know what,
sure.
I didn't want to get tickets for some day that I can't go. So anyway, but tickets went on sale today. Single game tickets did. So I can still get some, but Bucks are going to at least start the series without Giannis. Okay. The Pacers beat the Bucks 4 out of 5 times this year in the regular season. I was at one of the games. Giannis had 54, and the Pacers won. Um, do you think? Do you think the Pacers beat them if Giannis misses all or most of that series? If he doesn't miss the series, if he misses, say, the first 2 games or something, and plays the rest of it, are the Bucks good enough to beat the Pacers? Or is it just a matchup thing? What do you think?
I I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's so hard to say.
it's really hard to say.
I mean, in my head, regular season and playoffs is so different, especially when you're a team like the Bucks that you've made it so far so many times, and when you get on a roll, and the Pacers are just one of those teams. They have been for 25 years or longer that are just going to be a tough, hard-nosed team. So in the regular season, yeah, they might have your number, but I mean, I I got to go with I say the Bucks win whether Giannis plays or not.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go for the Pacers. It's tough because I don't know. Yeah, especially because Dame hasn't really played very well. I don't know. It does seem to be a really tough matchup for some reason for the Bucks, and I think just because of the way the regular season went, and I agree with you that the playoffs are different. Um, but I'm going for with the Pacers. I mean, I saw them in person 8 times this year, and um, I don't know. They're just especially if Tyrese Halliburton can get closer to what he was in the first half of the season than the second half.
Yeah, ever since he came back from that injury, I mean, he's been good, but he
Mhm.
hasn't been,
Same. Yeah.
yeah, the
Right.
same.
Or yeah. Um, they are a little bit better. They were really, really bad defensively in the first half. After they traded for Siakam, they're a little bit better defensively. Still not great, but they're better. So anyway, um, Knicks Sixers. What do you think on that?
I'm with you. I mean, this isn't the Sixers team that played most of the year that
Yeah.
made them where they were. I mean, they were in second place when Embiid got hurt, and Embiid came back, what, 8 games ago?
Yep.
I mean, they're unstoppable. He is so good.
Yeah.
He's so good. He is, I mean, these big guys like him and um Jokic and Doncic, those guys, like the way that those three can play is insane. They can do anything they want to do at any time.
Yeah.
And they can both and B can hit the three now too.
Mhm.
He doesn't do it very often, but he can.
He hit 2 in the fourth quarter tonight.
I mean, leave him there. Leave him open and see what's going to happen because he's going to hit it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to. And the little jumper, that little 8 foot, 10 foot jumper,
Yeah.
that's almost unstoppable.
Yeah. He can hit that mid
At
range.
7'2" or whatever he is,
Yeah.
that's almost unstoppable.
Mhm.
Outside of maybe Wemby, I don't know anybody that could possibly block that.
Yeah.
But Wemby's the only person that can make 3 of the plays he makes every single game anyway. So
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty interesting series because the Knicks they just have gotten such great contributions from a bunch of the guys. They seem like they're kind of a small team,
yeah.
but they Jalen Brunson has been like a top 5 player in this, especially in the second half of the season.
And he'll be fifth in MVP voting.
Yeah, I think so. Um, so yeah, it's and you know what's funny is Madison Square Garden is this magical place, and I want to go there and see a game so bad. Um, and there's actually a chance I might, depending on if they go back the second time, if they end up playing on a Saturday, I might be flying up to New York for that.
Nice.
Anyway, um, everybody else plays really well in Madison Square Garden, you know?
Yep.
Like star players always have their best games
Yep.
in MSG
It
for
feels
whatever
that way, yeah.
so anyway, it's almost like there's probably a little home court advantage, but also historically, everybody's really gotten up to play there.
Sure.
So I don't know. I don't know how much
And the Knicks have really sucked. So
for a long time. Yeah.
it makes it easy to
For a long time.
have a big game there.
Right. Okay. Real quick through the Western Conference, we already talked about the 1-8. Clippers Mavs is probably the most interesting one. 4-5 there. Clippers Mavs.
The Clippers don't impress me at all, and I want the Mavs to win. I want them to win, so I'm going to take the Mavs. I want to see Luka
And Kyrie
make a move, right? I
Sure.
want like Luka's, he's the third guy in voting right now. You is kind of where everybody puts him, and it's just because he hasn't made that jump, right? He hasn't made that jump to be the 1 or 2 seed, and blah blah blah. Make a run, have a run at it, bud. I'd love to see Luka just go out and have a run at it because if he's on the floor, they've got a chance to win.
Yeah. It'll be So they'll miss Denver until the Western Conference Finals if they both end up getting there. So they would have to play the Thunder if they beat the Clippers. So I'm with you on that too, and it really depends on how healthy Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are. It seems like always questionable.
Yeah.
I guess they haven't missed as many games this year.
No, not even close. But now Kawhi all of a sudden they're talking about injuries creeping up on him. So it's
He's
like
got the knee stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. And then James Harden and Russell Westbrook, by the way, are also on that team. And it sounds like a like a Hall of Fame team, but
Mhm.
Westbrook had a really great game. I think it was the last or second last game of the season. But Harden is like he's getting like 12 and 10 or something like that now.
Yeah.
It's just a really weird dynamic.
So weird. The Harden's play over the past month and a half, like it's been consistent, which is weird.
Yeah.
It's not what you would expect, but it's not, 25. It's 12, 8, and 9.
Yeah. Um, it's going to be interesting to see if they lose this first round, how he's going to, because every year if he either doesn't play well or he's not happy and they lose in the playoffs,
Right.
he's always looking for a way out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
How long has he been there now? Has it been a year
this
and
is
a
the
half?
second year, yeah, year and a half, I
Yeah.
think. So yeah, I don't know what to expect from the Clippers. So I'll say Mavericks in that one. Um, and really the only one we haven't talked about was the Timberwolves Suns, which could also be a really, really interesting. The Suns were weird. They actually played well at the end of the year to get out of the play-in game. I think a couple weeks ago they were 9 or 10 or something like that. And
Yeah.
so they got it together at the end to get out of the play-in game or the play-in tournament. Um, so they're on a little roll there. The Timberwolves were in first or second all year long in the West, which is, you know, by far better than the East this
They
year.
were leading the West for a long time.
Long time. Yeah, and then they went into the very last day of the season in a three-way tie for first. So it all played out, and the Thunder ended up one, and
Yeah.
Denver ended up two, and then Minnesota three. But um, this is going to be a really interesting series. I don't know. What do you think?
Anthony Edwards is insane.
Yeah.
He is so good.
So good.
Unfortunately, he's got Karl Anthony Towns that he has to deal with on his team, who's really good, but I think maybe one of the worst team players to ever walk onto a court.
Really?
I don't know. Ever since that game where like they were forcing him the ball to get 60 or whatever was going,
Oh yeah.
like that's like, come on, win a game. What is this about? I can't stand any of it. I can't stand that.
Mhm.
That irritated me. So now I don't like him.
Left the sour taste in your mouth, huh?
Yes.
Okay. So you think the Suns have enough talent, of course, but momentum? Have they figured it out well enough to win a series against a team that's been the
No,
best in
I'm
the
gonna say
West?
no. I don't know what it is about this Suns team, but they just don't. It doesn't feel like they've got the veterans to make that run. Right, that's the big thing. And not Carl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, young guy, right? He's the star of that team, but I just I don't know. The Suns are not old, but it just doesn't seem like they've got it figured out. So
Mhm.
as much as I don't like Carl Anthony Towns, I think Anthony Edwards is going to pull it off.
Okay.
I think he'll pull through.
They got, from what I'm hearing, sounds like Rudy Gobert is probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year again. So they've got that
How
going.
does he win? Dude? What? I don't understand that.
I think there are like metrics that talk about how much he changes other teams' offenses because
That's got to be what it
he's such a
is.
rim protector. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I'm going with the consistency that they've had all season with the Minnesota Timberwolves in this series, and so I think I think we've covered the first round of the playoffs,
All right,
and we'll talk about it again next week probably.
there you go. That sounds good.
Here we go. Um,
Speaking of the NBA, though, did you see Boban?
yeah, that the last day of the the last day of the season was so fun with how many seeds still had to be decided. We talked about that first place in the Western Conference, and then things happened on the last day that were just kind of fun around the league. Your last chance to see a bunch of the teams that weren't going to make it. One of them was the Rockets, who 2 weeks ago were flirting with that 10 seed.
I
They
think
made a
they're a
big
really
run.
good team. They're going to be really good.
They are, yeah, they've got a good chance to make the playoffs next year. But Boban Marjanovic, who is 7'4", and he's in, tons of commercials and stuff. He had
In
the,
a class of his own in ugliness.
yeah. We did do the ugliest baseball players of all time. If we had a basketball version,
He'd be there.
we'd be in the mix. So it's just I've never seen ears that size before,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure
and they're
out.
inside out as well.
They are inside out,
Um,
and they are 3/4 of the size of his head,
Yeah.
not like an eighth like other people's. They're 3/4 the size of his head.
I think people could hike into his ears
Mm-hmm.
and with the little headlamp things on. And
Spelunking.
is that what that is?
Yeah.
All right. And watch out for bats or whatever is in
Yeah.
caves normally, but
Yeah.
um
You
still
definitely rock climbing.
stalactites or stalagmites
Stalagmites, tights, stalactites, stalagmites, stalagmites. I think that's
something.
it. I think you had it right the first time.
Okay. Um anyway,
Anyway,
it's we're being silly about that, but I love that guy. He has a great sense of humor.
mhm.
He always has. He did
Always
that show
doing.
with Tobias Harris for a
Mhm.
while when they were teammates. Yes, always funny. And he didn't play much this year, but he was in that last game, and they played the Clippers in LA. And in LA is important because he gets on the line in the fourth quarter, I'm pretty sure, and he had two free throws. And in arenas all over the place, like in Indy, they get you get curly fries from Arby's the next day if the opposite team misses two free throws.
Oh, okay. So this is something. Okay, I got
This
you.
is
Yeah.
something that teams do.
Yeah.
In LA, I think it's Chick-fil-A.
Like 11 strikeouts in the Reds game, you get pizza the
You
next
get
day.
pizza.
Yeah.
In LA, I believe it's Chick-fil-A. They give away free chicken sandwiches the next day if somebody from the opposing team misses two free throws in a row on one trip to the free throw line, right?
Okay.
Boban goes to the free throw line, misses the first one, I think honestly missed it.
Oh, 100%. He honestly missed it. Yeah. I mean, it
Number
almost went in. It
right.
rattled around.
You're
Yeah.
right. As soon as he misses that, he realizes right away. I couldn't tell if fans were yelling for him or
Oh, yeah.
his teammates maybe on the bench realized
Or
it, were
the
like,
other
hey,
team, or yeah, somebody was telling him, and then he started pointing at himself and kind of pointing at the fans.
he's like, you want chicken? All right, you know what? Last day of the season, I got you. I got you.
Boban get you chicken.
That's right. That's right. So so he misses on purpose.
Oh, definitely. It was
A little
barely,
wide
yeah,
left.
it definitely left.
Hit the rim though. Tried to make it look
Yeah,
like it was,
yeah.
but he hit the rim and he missed, and everybody
Puts
cheered.
his hand in the air, pointing at the crowd. He knew what he did.
That was such a fun, and I feel like I would normally not be into something like that because it's like not,
But it's
the
somebody
honest
you like.
part of the game.
But it's
But it's
somebody you
somebody I
like.
like. It's
It's
somebody I like.
somebody you like.
If let's see, if who else? Who don't I like? If somebody I didn't like did that, yeah, I'd be like, don't disrespect the game.
Yeah.
You know?
Russ. Come on, Russ. You like
I
Russ.
love
I know
Russ
you
Westbrook.
love Russ. I stop real quick. If Harden did it, or yeah.
Yeah, maybe because he's got a rough past. But anyway, um, it was just fun.
Nice.
It was
Yeah.
just so fun. And the Rockets ended up winning the game. And I don't think that game. I think the Clippers were locked into the 4 seed. There really wasn't anything on the line technically, except for trying to win a basketball game. But they did anyway, and it was just a really fun moment.
It was. It definitely was.
It was just cool. So congratulations on that. Hopefully that's what I hope people see. Not that like fringe NBA fans, if they see that, hopefully that'll like bring somebody in like, man, that's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to start paying attention to that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Even if just that guy or watch that team,
Yeah.
a couple more times, something like that. I don't know that's going to really make a difference, but a fun situation like that hopefully will
I'd like
make
to.
some more people
Yeah.
interested.
Yeah. I'd like to hope so, but I don't know. People that don't like the NBA, but they just don't like the
Yeah.
NBA.
Yeah, people make up their minds about it for sure. Um, okay. I mean, we can go right into Mount Rushmore and comedy if you want. We can talk a minute on Jontay Porter.
Let's talk about Jontay Porter.
So first of all, I didn't realize who he was until this all came out. He's the brother of Michael Porter Jr., which most people will probably know from the Denver Nuggets.
Absolutely. I didn't
Um,
know that either. I didn't. I
yes,
just, to this until just now, I didn't know that.
Michael Porter Jr.'s brother. And he was on the Raptors this year. Jontay Porter was. Things started coming out a couple weeks ago about he's being investigated about some gambling stuff. He might be in big time trouble. What's funny is this is the state of the media that we're in today. Like 2 days ago, I saw a thing that said Jontay Porter, the investigation uh, was done, and it was found that he didn't bet on he bet not on basketball games. Today, I see he's banned for life. He bet on the
Wait,
Raptor
wait a
his
minute.
team to lose.
Wait a minute. I thought that this was the guy who bet on himself on like unders, like under 8 points or something like that. And then he would get to like 7 points or 6 points and go out of the game with an injury. Isn't that who this was?
I didn't read articles yet, but I've seen a bunch of
I
clips
thought
and a
I
bunch
heard
of
Dan. Thought I heard this on Dan Patrick, and if I wasn't
that
mistaken,
could be right.
I mean, like, think about that. Like, that's big time trouble, right?
Uh,
Like,
Yes. And so whether it's that
or for
or
your team to
he
lose, or
yeah,
yeah,
either way, he did I mean, this sounds worse than Pete Rose. I mean, it was
yes.
like
At least Pete bet on the Reds to win.
yeah. Yeah. But I mean, to how like I don't understand how you do that and not think you're going to get caught.
That's my biggest thing.
I,
That's my biggest thing. It doesn't make a lick of sense.
Also, by the way, let me tell you something. He I saved this. Was it worth it? Because he made his contract, the money he made this year, $2.8 million. The amount that he made on the bets that he won, $21,965.
No, not worth it.
You've made almost $3 million just playing. Was $22,000 more worth getting banned for life?
So dumb.
I mean, have fun playing in whatever country you go play in, and you'll still make plenty of money there and probably be good. But you're never ever going to be in the NBA. You're never going to be part of anything in the NBA,
That's crazy.
and you won't make as much money anywhere else as you will here.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I don't really know.
This is starting. It's already starting, right? We've had it in the NFL now. We've had it in Major League Baseball. We've had it here. Like, this is what all of the owners were so against when it came to the gambling. And this is what when as the DraftKings and FanDuel's had the player, daily fantasy, and that was considered to be okay because they went against it, and like they had to go to court to say that that wasn't gambling, that that was actually fantasy. But I mean, it is. I mean, you're putting money on it, and if they, you're whatever. So the daily fantasy is still to this day, you can play daily fantasy on DraftKings where you draft a team daily to try to win money, but you can't gamble on sports. Like to this day, there's states like that.
Mhm.
But as this is getting bigger and bigger and more states are doing it, this is the biggest fear that these places have.
Yeah.
And gotta give it to, I don't know if I mean, it's obviously like the FanDuels and the DraftKings and the MGMs, because they are the ones that are going to lose the money. So they're the ones that have to do most of the investigating on this, right? Because they're the ones going after, they're the ones that are like, whoa, 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 whoa. We found an IP address that's linked to this dude's cousin,
Mhm.
and the cousin just made, $20,000 over the past 3 weeks, putting a bunch of $5,000 bets down or $1,000 bets down. Turns out they were all bet on his cousin to score under 20 points. And he scored 19 and left the game hurt 4 times. It's like, sorry, bro, that ain't happening. Like, that's something's going on there, right?
Yeah.
So that's got to be so hard to do because, gambling is one of those things. It's as bad as drinking or, smoking or whatever, dude. It's
Yeah.
like when you start doing it, it's easy to to get addicted and just keep wanting to go back and chase that dollar, man. Chase that dollar, chase it. I bet $1 on things. And when I win, I'm jumping in my house, high-fiving. You know what I mean?
I won $5.
You think I just won $100,000, but like I'm as excited as you can get. It's that rush, man. It's that rush.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
more you put on it, the bigger the, oh man, when you hit that big one, oh boy.
So I saw something. I'm probably not going to remember the numbers right, but Dave Portnoy put like $500,000 on what's his name to win the Masters.
Scheffler.
Scheffler, Sky Scheffler, and won 5 million or
It was
something like
insane.
that.
Yeah.
4 or 5
He
million.
also bet $1 million on Iowa to win. Iowa and for what's her name?
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark to win that. I think it was in the LSU game
Oh,
and hit that. And then he also bet $1 million on Michigan to win uh,
the national championship.
national
Well,
championship.
he's a big Michigan fan. Yeah.
He is. And he won that. So they're talking about how he's on this big heater, right? Like, these 3 huge bets in a row.
I
Trust me,
wonder.
he's lost plenty of money.
I was going to say, I wonder how many he's actually lost.
But he's not betting those big dollar amounts, right? He's not probably
Who
doing.
knows?
Well, he puts out there when he does it. Like when he makes those big ones, he's putting out there when he does it.
Gotcha.
I'm sure he's betting every bit of 20 grand a day.
Seems like it. Okay. So, just an interesting thing. I mean, look, this would be a way bigger. It's a big story, honestly, because this could be, exactly what you're saying. It's why the people who are against allowing, making gambling legal and all over the place, it's why they're against it. Because we can have serious things like being, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word. You know, sports being tarnished.
Tarnished. Yeah, sure.
I was trying to think of something else, but anyway,
But that's a good word for it.
yeah.
The competitiveness of it not being there, right? You've got
The integrity of the game.
sport.
Yeah, it's yeah, and nobody's nobody's going to want to deal with that if this becomes a thing where more and more players get caught doing this. It's going to get out of hand, and I I don't think it will, but if it does, you're going to have to get gambling back out of sports. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or make it illegal again.
Mm-hmm.
People will still do it, but make it illegal again. So anyway, but that's down the road. Who knows if that happens? And if he was a star, this would be a way bigger story. But he's not. Honestly, the league's probably not going to miss him.
The league won't miss him, but the idea is the same thing that happened to whoever the guy was that was gambling on site in the NFL. He wasn't gambling on his games, and he just got suspended. He got suspended for like 10 games. It was quite a bit. But it's the same thing, right? Like you may not be the biggest guy in the sport. It's not Tom Brady doing it, right? But you got caught.
Mm-hmm.
And if little man got caught, having his cousin's brother do whatever, then if you're somebody big, like just, pay attention because we're coming down on it. Like this has to be stopped. And I think that is something that they will definitely put their foot down on.
What I think Jontay Porter did wrong was he didn't pin it on his interpreter.
It's like Pete said, I wish I came from a different country.
I'll tell you, when he said that, did we talk about that?
No.
When he said that, I'm like, what a dumb guy. Like
he's an idiot.
He's such a dumb guy.
He's an idiot. He's 80 something years old. Pete's just a dumb, hard-headed West Sider.
He's a knucklehead. He's a hillbilly.
He's a river rat.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're a river rat hillbilly, bud, that's a whole different type of person.
That's right.
God love him.
Yeah, God love him.
Still love him. Still
Absolutely.
think, I mean, it's unbelievable, but that doesn't mean that he's not an idiot. I mean, that's like, who? Give me some. That's like OJ Simpson. Like, you can't say that dude wasn't one of the greatest running backs, maybe the greatest running back to ever live, but a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Or, what did we say? Not RIP. We're not resting in peace, OJ Simpson, right?
running in peace. He's running back. Let's see. What can
Oh,
we do?
OJ would be good. Do you think he's with that demon down there? Where's he at? Does he have a fork,
Yeah.
a dinner fork?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, that's going to
How
our comedy
many,
segment.
how, many- how long till he gets demoted? We'll
Yeah.
find out. Um, all right. Good transition. Let's get right into the Mount Rushmore first before we get into Demetri Martin. We have the Mount Rushmore of shoe brands.
Mm-hmm.
Shoe brands. Um, would you like to go first?
No, I want you to go first.
All right. I'll blow through real quick the list that I wrote down,
Yes, let's do that.
and then I'll tell you my four. I put Nike, Adidas, Kangaroos, LA Gear, British Knights, Converse, Airwalk, Doc Martens, Timberlands, and Stacy Adams.
You didn't put Vans on there?
I didn't put Vans on there.
No Skechers?
No Skechers.
No Hokas?
Nope, I didn't.
Man,
That was the list.
I never owned a pair of Airwalks.
Really,
I
I
had
think
multiple Vans, but never owned
you're a
Airwalks.
Vans guy. I
Yeah.
feel like it was one or the other then, and I had I think one pair of Airwalks.
I think I only had one pair of Vans.
Yeah,
Because I was like, oh, I'm a skater guy. Oh, no, I'm not.
yeah,
These suck.
yeah.
I can't play basketball in these.
You get-
I can't do anything in these.
I can only
hate
wear
these
I can only
shoes.
wear these around certain friends.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't even like these at all. I don't like these at all.
Yeah.
I
So,
really like the music that they go with, though.
yeah. Yeah, I'll wear these and listen to Stone Temple Pilots all day long.
All
But
day,
I like
all day, all day. Where's the Pearl Jam at? Give me some Pearl Jam right now.
all right, so I'll go.
Tell me, honey, last day.
That's right. That song was called Harry.
Yeah. Hear me spoken, spoken, hear me. I should have been on American Idol.
Yeah.
I mean Eddie Vedder, right? Like this dude is regarded as one of the is pretty good, is like amazing, right? Like Pearl Jam and Eddie Vedder, like the name Eddie Vedder, everybody knows, right? It's Pearl Jam.
One of the yeah.
I, I didn't know that it was Jeremy spoke in class today for like 40 years after that song came out.
Really?
Yeah. Now I can't remember what it was. What did I used to think it was? Oh, it was whatever I thought it was. Somebody finally was like, "What'd you say?" And I was like, "What? That's not it." And they're like, "No, the song's called Jeremy." I was like, "Yeah, it never made sense to me."
Yeah, that's the
Oh, that's what it was.
That's what he's saying.
Riddle me spoken. I always thought he said riddle me spoken. And I was like, I don't know what it means, but half the songs in the world don't make sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
riddle me spoke. What? What is that? No, it's Jeremy spoken.
Huh.
Claire, listen to this.
Mhm.
Jeremy spoke. Like just I tell my daughter all the time, enunciate your words so I can understand you.
Yeah.
Don't just do what I tell. Open your daggone mouth, Eddie. Come on, Eddie.
Come on, Edward.
Be better.
Big,
Sorry.
big Cubs fan, Eddie Vedder.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's true.
I went Nike. I mean, it's the most iconic.
Yeah.
Your brand,
George
probably.
Washington.
And yeah, right.
No Keds.
I didn't put. I almost put Keds on
No
there.
Ked. No
Almost put
buddies.
I never. No, I never owned a pair. Keds, I always thought were women's shoes.
Sure, I guess. Yeah.
But I don't.
That's how I see them.
Okay. So anyway, I feel like Michael Jordan made Nike
Different.
Yeah, he put them on the map. Really,
I mean, it was a running shoe. It was a track shoe.
Yeah,
that's all it was.
That's right. So for that reason, I put Nike up there. Then I put Adidas because Michael Jordan wanted to go with Adidas. He wanted to sign with Adidas when he was. That's not really why. Also,
that's what I was laughing at. That's the reason why.
Yeah, no, but it's always interesting to me to think like he wanted nothing to do with Nike when he came into the NBA, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to sign with Adidas. They're the biggest shoe brand, But I think I've owned a couple pairs of Adidas basketball shoes, and they were, I feel like, the most comfortable.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. They held up better than most Nikes, and they were more comfortable.
I don't. Oh man, feel like I've had a pair of Adidas because I remember thinking in my head, I'm a an 11 in Nike and a 10 and a half in Adidas, right?
Drives me
So the
crazy when they're
Adidas
different sizes.
the Adidas runs a little bigger, so I'm only a 10 and a half, whereas in Nike I'm an 11. But I can't remember ever having a pair of Adidas shoes.
But you knew that. You must have had some.
I had to have. I know I've had.
I feel like you
I'm
had.
not a shoe guy.
Yeah, I feel like you had a pair of running shoes or something that were Adidas.
Oh,
No?
probably. That's probably what that was. Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right.
Chris, third, I'm putting Stacy Adams.
What is Stacy Adams?
Stacy Adams. Picture this, okay?
Okay, eyes are closed.
Close your eyes. Um, African American man.
Okay, see a
Let's
black.
say
I'm looking at a black guy.
58 years old to 68 years old.
Okay.
Um, all all yellow suit. Really
Ooh,
nice, crisp
yes.
three-piece suit.
Yes.
All yellow. You can make it all purple. You
Like
can make it
six
all red.
four, 120 pounds, Mr. Edwards. Let's go.
But I mean, it looks so good on the guy, right?
Yeah.
His shoes, those really nice shiny. They look like they're worth millions of dollars.
Okay.
They're a real nice fancy like pointed
Oh,
toe,
pointed toe, not the square toe.
probably
Okay.
the pointed toe,
Okay.
and in a suit like that.
Yeah.
They could be some probably matching the rest of the suit, or they could be if it's a more of a regular suit, they could be a real uh, off color. They could be a yellow. They could be a purple. They could
Okay.
be a burgundy.
Okay.
Um, just the really nice dress shoe, right? There could be
How
some
many of
different
these have you
styles,
owned?
little patterns. I've owned one pair of Stacey Adams shoes. I
What
think.
color were
I think they were just black, just
they? Oh,
plain black. But a real nice dress shoe like that,
mm-hmm.
and probably some other shoes too, but some slightly less,
Like it. I like it.
um, I don't know.
I like it.
I put it on there for fun.
Okay. I
Okay.
love it. That sounds good. Stacey Adams. Way to go, girl.
Yeah,
Or is it a guy like Stacey
I
Augman?
think it's a guy
All right.
or Stacey
Is that
King.
spelled differently? Stacey or
You know
Stacy?
what's funny is I was just texting with a friend right before we started here, and she said something about Stacey King, the former Bulls player. And we're now talking about Stacey Adams. And I was thinking about the spelling it because I think Stacey Adams spells it without the E.
Okay.
So I think it's Stacy. It could be a woman. I guess I don't really know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you had some male Stacys though. Yeah. All right. Fourth. I haven't made my choice for fourth yet.
Okay.
So it's between all those. I'm gonna put it between all those. This is gonna be boring, but I did throw the Stacey Adams in there, so I'm going back to boring, and I'm gonna go Converse because for the longest time they were the only athletic shoe.
100%.
The only athletic shoe. The Converse weapons are now I think coming back in. I think they're like they re-release them or something, or you can get them again.
So I see so many people wearing old Converse, the low tops now, not the high top All Stars, the low tops,
And not the Chucks, not the Chuck Taylor.
right.
Those,
Right.
I mean, you go into the Converse not surplus, the outlet store,
Yeah.
and they've got every single kind of Converse Chuck Taylor,
Yeah.
whatever.
And they're in a
material
box that's like, 4 inches by 4 inches by 7 inches. It's like that's not a shoe box, that's a takeout box. I
um,
feel like there's a hot dog in there or something.
it's a hot dog box. They don't have a lot of variety in shoes really,
Mm-hmm.
because so many of it is a version of Chuck Taylor's. I loved when they came out with the new Chuck Taylors, like in the late '90s or early
Yes.
mid '90s or something like that.
Yes.
Those were awesome. Elder had they
Yep.
used those as the team shoes, and I got a
Yep.
pair of purple ones. They were
St.
God, I love them.
Dominic, 1998,
Did you get them?
city champs.
Hey,
Right?
Black and
Everybody on the team said we're getting black and white new Chuck Taylors. Mom took me into Shoe Carnival and said, no, no, it's buy one, get one half off. I'm getting a pair of shoes and you can have those black and white Converse. And they're black and white Converse, but they just weren't the new Chuck Taylors.
Okay.
So I was the only one on the team that had slightly different shoes.
Oh,
I couldn't tell on the court. They all looked like black and white Converse. Had the Converse on the tongue and all that stuff and on the side,
okay.
but not the Chuck Taylors. Didn't mom, dude, when they re-released those in the 90s and late 90s,
Yeah.
they were not cheap, dude. It was like they were trying to not, and they weren't competing with Jordan, but I mean those Jordans were $120 back then.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not a shoe guy.
Yeah, I've become weirdly become a little bit more later in life, but still not. I know plenty of people that are way bigger
Oh
shoe
yeah, shoes
people.
are crazy,
Yeah.
but I don't like. I just never had like. I had the same pair of shoes. I wear them all the time. Like I have a pair of work shoes, I got a pair of boots, and I've got a pair of gym shoes. And then I've got my. And I guess I do have a pair of shoes that I wear to for softball, baseball, whatever when I'm on the field. Pair of turfs, coaches' shoes, whatever you want to call them.
You
Nah,
got
coaches'
you
shoes. They're
got a
turfs.
you got a wedding, funeral, church shoe,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, that's my work shoe.
Oh, yeah,
Shoe for
okay.
work.
There you go. There you go.
So, uh, but that's it. Like I don't have 15 gym shoes. Like I'm not picking a pair of gym shoes out. I've got a pair of gym shoes. That's it.
What I have done as when I started, really the only reason I say a little more into shoes is because I started probably 2013 or so. And there's a reason for that. Uh, Going to the outlet stores and getting like these, like
Mm-hmm.
I found these at Kohl's on a rack. They were the only pair of they were the only pair of what do you call these?
Air Max,
Uh,
Air, Nike Air.
um,
It says Nike Air on the
uh,
back. I don't know if
yeah,
they're Air Maxes or not. They kind of look like Air Maxes.
maybe I'm trying to, yeah, I'm feeling like it's something else. But anyway, the only pair like that there. And they were whatever, $65 or something like that. I'm like, those are awesome. I can't believe I found them. But I will go to the outlet stores and buy like four pairs of shoes at once for a total of $200.
Gotcha.
And and then I'll make those last me for 2 3 years or whatever. And maybe even more. And so that's what I've been doing. And maybe before I get through all those, I'll go back and find, some more that I like
Do you
that are
clean
pretty
your?
cheap.
You clean those bad boys? Like you're at
No,
home, you get to clean them up
I
because
so I
these are super clean.
yeah, I don't wear these often
Mm-hmm.
because they're my nicest pair of shoes now.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you can see some stuff here and
Yeah.
some stuff here and everything. Once in a while, if I want them to look better, I'll grab a paper towel and put a little water and soap on it and just like if
Scrub
there's a
around a little
spot
bit.
that I
So,
need.
so when I said, "Do you clean them?" and you said no, you actually do clean them.
Well, but not regular. Like if
I
there's
mean, water and soap that'd be considered cleaning in most
if I,
people's eyes. Do you clean it? No, I just take water and soap and scrub them up a little bit.
if
I
there's
don't clean them though. Come on, man. I'm not weird.
I'm not weird. I don't clean them, but I do wear them in the shower. That's not really like weird or anything.
I mean, I put them in the washer, but
I
yeah, every once in a while.
so I'll do it's like I call it a 3 cycle wash, and I'll wear them in the shower, and then I'll put them in the washer, and then I'll put them in the dishwasher after
Okay.
that, and then after that they should be pretty
I feel like
pretty good.
dishwasher is probably the best way to do shoes.
And then I'll get a toothbrush out and I'll put some soap on that and,
Yeah,
and do a little spot
really,
cleaning.
really spot clean 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you.
So
But I don't really clean them though.
no, I've never cleaned them before.
That's good. I like
Yeah.
that. All right.
What are your top four shoe brands?
So no Under Armour? No.
No.
I don't know that I've ever had a pair of Under Armour shoes.
I've been in the Under Armour outlet store a few times and wanted to get some Steph Curry Under Armour shoes. They're just not. I just don't like.
You don't like them. A lot of people don't like them. They look like what are they called? The Nike Forces or Nike something where they're uh I don't know what they're called. The ones that all the old men get, when you become a dad,
Oh,
people
the
give
Air
you
Monarchs.
Air Monarchs. There you go. The Air Monarchs. Yeah. People make fun of those. So my wife would always get on me about when we first got married, I would buy shoes. It was always like a basketball shoe, but I would get them for basketball, and she would hate the basketball shoes I got. And I say that, and I probably only buy one pair, and I still have that same pair upstairs there. I bought a pair of Carmelo Anthony's. They were Jordan when he was under Jordan Brand. I assume he still is, or well, he's not under anything now. Um, I bought them like 30 years, not 30 years ago, probably 15, 20 years ago. And I think I've worn them not on the hardwood maybe 4 times.
Mhm.
But it's like I just those are supposed to be my basketball shoes, man. They don't touch nothing else.
Yeah.
Uh, but and I thought it was so cool. That was my first pair of Jordans that I ever owned, and they were Carmelos.
Nice.
And they were 2 years old when I bought them. They were on the outlet mall for like $30.
Heck yeah. That's the
That's
way to
how I
do
do
it, man.
things. I don't need, I'm not just, and my wife calls them moon shoes. She always
I
say, you
remember
got
that.
moon shoes. Stop buying, you're not allowed buying moon shoes anymore. I'm like, whatever, I don't care. Buy me a pair of shoes whenever you want. I've had like 3 pairs of Air Max in the past 8 years, 9 years. Not even three, two. I've had 2 pairs of Air Max in the past. No, it's been three. One of them was given to me by our cousin's husband, Michael Jenkins.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He gave me a pair of red and white ones, and I thought they were the coolest things in the world. I wore them to a Reds game once, and I was like, "Well, I can never wear these. I mean, they're dirty already. Like,
Yeah.
don't give me white ones." And then I bought a pair of all white Air Maxes.
What you
Those
got
lasted a while.
what you got to do is you got to wear them in the shower and then you got to put them in the washer.
Three cycle,
Three cycle
three
wash.
cycle. And I have a pair of Air Max now, and that's probably 9 years of. That's the last 9 years I've had 3 pairs of shoes. I don't. Just means nothing to me.
Yeah.
But I am going to put Nike number one. I went with the Chuck Taylor, the Converse is number two. I feel like that has to be up there. Has to be up there. Um, Number three, I went with what I was talking about before. I really liked for a long time the shoe I wear the most in my life is made by Boomba, which is like a baseball turf shoe. They make turf shoes, they make molded cleats, they make metal cleats. That's what I probably wear more than anything is those shoes. I wear them to indoor practice, I wear them to outdoor practice, I wear them to games. I've 100% had way more of those and I probably had 15 pair in the last 15 years.
Have you ever seen like an advertisement for those shoes?
No.
Okay. I was gonna say, do they have a coach or a player linked to those?
No, I don't think that I've ever seen on TV. I'm sure there's somebody in Major League Baseball that wears them. Yeah, not that I've ever seen. New Balance has gotten huge in turf shoes. Huge. Like people love the New Balance turf shoe now. Lots of guys. Like it's in Major League Baseball. I bet a quarter of the people in Major League Baseball are wearing New Balance turfs when they got turfs on.
Well,
Yeah.
I heard New Balances are super comfortable.
Yep. Yep. Dad's either got the Air Monarchs or a pair of New Balance. Actually, you know what? He's gone over a little bit to the Skechers now, I think. I
Is that
think,
right?
I think Pop's gone to the Skechers. Dude, I don't know what to pick for the third one. I have no idea. Like Nike, Boomba, what was the other one I said?
Converse.
Converse. I'm struggling. All those things we've named, I named a bunch more after that. I never owned a pair of Doc Martens. Like, I don't understand. I thought people that wore Doc Martens were weird as hell. And I was pretty weird for wearing Vans. So you had a pair of Docs, didn't you?
No, I never did.
Oh,
I think I wanted them at some point when
I'm
we
sure
were
I did
when we
too.
were
And
in
that's
that
probably why I
phase or
didn't
whatever.
because they were like
Yeah.
$200.
I
Apparently they're
probably
like
got
a
knockoffs a
apparently
lot,
they're
too.
apparently like a really, really nice work shoe, like work boot.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're like a that but
Like an orthopedic work boot or
yeah,
something.
exactly. And then people just decided they're going to make them their goth shoe or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Right.
whatever, or grunge or whatever music at the time was wearing them.
Yeah. Stone
Um,
Temple Pilots.
there you go. Airwalks or yeah, Airwalk, Van, Docs. If you
Yeah.
had any of those three on,
That's right. You were listening to what'd you call it? Something spoken class. Something spoken.
Riddle me
Riddle me
spoken.
spoken. Yeah.
Riddle me spoken.
If you'd have had Doc Martens on, you would have known it was Jeremy the whole time.
Jeez. Okay. I mean, it's what I've been able to understand half of Kurt Cobain's words too, because I couldn't understand half of his stuff either. Oh, geez. Yeah, just listen to Nevermind. I have no idea what he says the whole time.
Yeah.
No idea. Um, anyway, so for the for the fourth to make the mount, you know what?
You're not wearing shoes right now.
No, I'm a slippers guy in the house, but I wish I knew brands of slippers, or I'd put those on. I'm gonna go
Totes.
totes. Yes, those were awesome. So good. Nothing like a good sock with sticky things on the bottom. Love that. If they're given to you by the hospital,
Yeah.
they're the best. And then they're smart enough to come out with actual slippers. Like, well done.
Yeah.
Let's go. You know what? Let's go with Vans. I'm going
Okay.
with Vans.
Sure. Throw back to a special period in our lives.
You ain't kidding. It was about 4 years long, but
Yeah.
wasn't that long.
Yeah. All right. That was fun.
Yeah. It's good.
Okay.
So that brings us to Demetri Martin.
I feel like he's probably a New Balance. He's a New Balance guy.
Air
He's
Monarch.
You think?
No?
No.
New Balance?
Yeah,
I feel like he's a Hoka guy.
maybe.
I feel like he's wearing
But they're
Hokas.
gonna be a blue or a gray. They're gonna be a pretty solid, like, not too flashy color there. Yes.
One couldn't tell you what color shoes they were if you watched the special.
Right. They were black, they were gray.
Yeah. Yes, they were.
Martin Deconstructed was on Netflix. This was a very, and it's so on brand for him. He's always been this way, a very artsy, very artistic,
Absolutely.
special.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean because he draws. The whole thing, the whole thing was, it was all done in black and white, and there were
The beginning and the end. I still don't quite understand it, but apparently it's going to be to be continued. So we get to see.
did it say that?
Yeah, at the very end.
Yeah. So, but the way he did, he would put up certain words as he's saying them as part of the punchline or something.
And then you would add words like
Yeah,
there'd be stuff on there he didn't even say, but it would keep putting up examples of whatever he was doing.
that's right. There would be several blocks of him doing different movements or jokes, and they would be in rhythm, or they would be, he would be doing.
Yep.
At some point he did. There was a side by side, and he did two different jokes at one time, and you couldn't follow it, but still, just all the different things he
It's my
did.
least favorite part, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't.
Why am I watching a comedy special if I have no idea? I tried to just specifically listen to one of the jokes,
Yeah.
and I couldn't do it.
Anyway, he did this kind of, it's totally different, but it reminded me of the Bo Burnham special that you didn't love from the pandemic. It was just so different than any other special. I loved this. A big reason was for that, but also he's one of my favorite joke tellers, joke writers I can ever think of. And he does I like the style a little bit better of the shorter jokes, more jokes in a shorter amount of time.
Mitch Hedberg-esque.
So I can tell you right away, I really like this, but before I say anything else, you take it away. What were your takeaways there?
I mean,
okay, I'm reading your body language, reading your face, reading your voice.
He is very funny. I laughed out loud quite a few times. Like, that's the kind of funny this dude is. And I didn't love it, but I definitely laughed a lot. Like, it was hard for me to figure out what I was going to give this as a score, because part of me wanted to be like, oh my God, this is not a comedy special. This is, I don't know what it is. It's a comedy. It's not a comedy special. It's a comedy, like the big word on the paper. It's just comedy, which is fine. But I didn't feel like it was a stand-up special. It felt like there's way too much production involved. I feel like for a good comedy special, I don't need a ton of production,
Sure.
right? I need a camera, maybe a couple more from the sides every now and then, or one on the crowd, whatever, and a microphone and a person.
Mhm.
And I love that. We talk about it all the time. You like a guy who just has a microphone and a stand, and he stands there and he tells jokes.
Mhm.
And Demetri Young, Demetri,
Mhm.
let's go meet Hook.
The other meat hook. Yeah.
Let's go meet Hook. Uh, Demetri Martin does kind of do that. I mean, he does, right? Like the big part of it is he's just standing there and he's telling his jokes, and
Really, that's what he's doing the whole time. There's
great
just so
delivery.
much production involved that they make it look different.
I would love to see this guy live. I think live, this might have been one of the better specials I've ever seen live. When I'm not gonna lie to you, the demon thing was pretty funny.
That was really
I was dying laughing when he pulled, when I don't even know how he did that, going back and forth, and then when he came back and things were different. I don't know how he did that. That was pretty cool though. And then the demon was there and he's making it talk, and I don't know if he had something in his hand that he was clicking a button to make his voice do that, but when he messed up at the end, that was so great.
yeah.
Part of me thinks that was definitely done on
Could
purpose.
have been.
Uh, but it's so, this is so hard for me because it is like the Bo Burnham special where it's very artsy, which is no problem. That's awesome. I love stuff like that. But when
Do
I
you?
I know 100% when that's what I want to go watch.
Okay. You just never
I didn't
wanna
like
go watch it.
I didn't like the Bo Burnham at all.
I know.
I liked this way better than I liked the Bo
Okay.
Burnham thing. Way better. The Bo Burnham, like most of the stuff he did, I didn't even think was funny.
He's a little bit more into the weird funny than the
Yeah,
and it's not for everybody.
no, I didn't, and I usually like weird, goofy, stupid, funny, right? I'm into stuff like that usually, but the song that it was that was it didn't do it for me, right? Just Bo Burnham's didn't do it. This was 1,000 times better than Bo Burnham's.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that I'm giving it like a 5 or a 4.5 or anything, but I did like it, and the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, God, I wish I was there. Wish I was there because I could actually watch this. I could actually listen to him. I feel like this would be better if I was standing there when he did his little things in his head.
If you could see it in color.
Yeah, I don't even care about seeing it in color. He could be up there in gray. It doesn't even bother me. Give me black and white glasses to watch him. I just feel like the delivery would be better and it could really pay attention to what he's making jokes about instead of trying to read these other words that are coming up while he's already telling another joke. But there's more work. Like he didn't say all that, but these are pretty funny too. Why didn't he say these things? I get that that's all part of it. Get it. I'm not like crucifying the guy for it.
Mhm.
I just don't know. I keep like the number 3-6 has been in my head. Part of me wants to go down. Another part of me wants to go up. We always say 4 is like that magic number. You hit 4 and it's like, you got to watch this.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say this is one that like people, you got to watch this. I feel like if he just did, I feel like if I was there watching this, I'd be like, this is like a 4 something, 4 something. Definitely a 4. But I think I'm just going to stick with it. I think I'm going to stick with a 3-6. I mean, it was really good. He had me laughing a lot, but there was just too much for my simple-minded brain. And I'll be 100% honest with you. It's probably my simple-minded brain that struggles with it. It was just a little much for me. I feel bad because I like the dude and I feel like I'm tearing him down, but a 3-6 is a great score.
36 is a good score. It is. I watched this twice.
And you loved it both times.
I loved it both times. But I watched it about a week apart. The first time I probably would have gone maybe like 4-1, something
Okay.
like that. I watched it again today.
100%. I could see this being something you went higher.
I went 4-6.
Yeah, because this is definitely a special where you'll pick things up because there's so much production involved that you don't catch everything. I don't want that in my comedy special. I want to know what's going on.
I was more focused the second time I watched it. I was listening to all the jokes closer and everything, and paying even more attention to all the different production,
Right.
and the different yeah, just the different
You were
ideas.
ready for it.
I was ready for it the second time for sure. But it just like I don't know. It was he's getting a little bit of at least a partial point for making it unique. I liked
I think
that.
I took off a partial point.
I, I liked it. Um, and it was even funnier the second time as the first time. I got
I
a chance.
guarantee you're right about that. I bet if I watched it again, I would love it more.
Yeah.
Like I said, I laughed constantly. Just there was just a little bit too much in there.
Okay. I got you. Yeah, there were. I ended up writing a bunch of stuff down, a bunch of jokes and joke ideas and stuff that I was like, I could almost write down everything because I
Sure.
liked almost
Yeah.
everything. So I won't even get into that. But I really, really liked it. And I did get to see him about a year and a half ago live,
Right.
and he was fantastic. And he always does the pad thing. He's always done that his whole
Mhm.
career. Um, and he did that. And it was what I've never seen him do before was
Bring it back.
do the
That was
reverse into a
awesome.
different joke. I
That
love
might have
that.
been the pad was probably my favorite part.
Yeah. Maybe the simplest of those was this is a calendar based joke and this is yesterday. And it was just the big X. I loved that joke. Oh my God.
The butt cheek we joke. That was
Yeah.
a good one.
Yep.
Yeah,
It
man
it
laying
was
on the side.
Antarctica and
Yeah.
then it was the guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
The grass. The end of it was the best. That end was awesome. Like my thing is, did he do the graph first and then decide that that matched his face? Because there's no way that happened.
Oh,
Or did he like design his face and then make a graph off of it?
yeah, I
Because
feel
that
yeah,
was pretty cool.
yeah.
The way they ended that. That was really cool.
And it was a good drawing of him because I mean,
So good
he
with the
makes he
nose.
makes your nose look like a tiny little
There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that.
like
I
a
got
cute
a
little
cute little button nose.
manufactured nose.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
um,
Joan Rivers when she died nose.
that's right.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson nose.
Nose.
Just the tiniest little baby nose.
Nothing but cartilage.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't break that nose. There's nothing in it.
There is no nose.
Okay. We did it. And you know what's funny about today's podcast, Chris?
We didn't record at all. Oh, we
No,
did it
we
again.
did.
No. Adam Schmidt owes us holding a 1 pound weight in the air for the entire podcast, and we keep forgetting. Do you use that 1 pound weight at
No,
home?
I bought this on
Okay,
Amazon.
give me that weight. We are going to remember next time. Did it come in a 2-pack? Let's go. When I first started playing baseball, not first started playing baseball, when I first started playing like really competitive baseball, my coach talked my dad into buying a 1 and 2 pound weight and have me throwing them, like acting like I was throwing them to try to build up arm strength.
Have you ever shadow boxed holding 1 pound dumbbells?
No.
It's the most amazing feeling. You go a 3 minute round or even just a minute shadow boxing, like fully shadow boxing with
Mhm.
1 pound dumbbells, and then go the next round with no. You feel like you are faster than Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
You feel so quick with your hands. It's an amazing. The first time I ever did that in a boxing class, I was like, "Oh my God,
I'm going to kill
I
somebody.
got the fastest hands on the planet."
Call me Floyd Mayweather.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna put these right here, and we're gonna leave them
We're
here.
leaving them there.
So
We'll
we see
remember
'em.
as soon as we walk in here and be like, oh, got to get them.
Put them in the bottom of that goofy bag, and
I know.
3
It's
weeks in a
on.
row.
I know. I know.
Anyway, that's my bad. Anyway, we've got a Mount Rushmore and a comedy to pick for next week.
Yes.
All right. So, I did have a couple of ideas. I'll tell you, I'm sure you get some too. I get suggestions for Mount Rushmore sometimes
Uh-huh.
from people.
Yep.
And they're not no bad ideas or anything like that, but a lot of times it's either stuff we've already done or too close to
That's
something we've already
usually if
done.
we've already done it.
Yeah, or just something I'm like, well, I don't know. How are we gonna even do it? Anyway, I might go with one. Let's see.
Let's do it.
I thought I wrote that down. Okay. I also had a Kind of a funny idea for one too. Let's go the Mount Rushmore. All right. Shout out, shout out Jim Schmidt.
All right.
He gave me this one. Let's start with Mount Rushmore of jobs you would never want to do.
Okay.
Jobs you would never want.
Okay.
So
I
yeah,
love it. So basic
least
so go
favorite
back,
jobs.
watch your favorite episodes of Dirty Jobs
Mhm.
and go at it. I like that. I like that.
You know what the worst jobs for me that I had, what the worst ones that seemed to, for me when I watched that show were any of them where he had to like climb down a little hole or
Oh,
go in a little thing.
yeah. That's my wife's least favorite thing ever.
Oh, I more and more claustrophobic all the time. And just seeing that, especially if it, like in a tank too, like you see how small the quarters are,
Yes.
and you have to go down, and then somebody, and there's only room, you have to squeeze into a hole, and then somebody comes down over you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're corked in there, pal.
Yes, sir.
There's no, if that guy dies
You're done.
suddenly and he's right
You're
there,
not getting out.
you're suffocating to death.
So-
That's
Something bad's gonna happen.
my heart is gonna,
Yeah, drive that tank till it flips over and knocks him out.
yeah, yeah. You gotta,
And they are not designed to do that.
you gotta find an embankment to start climbing up.
I
Okay. Let's do that for the Mount Rushmore.
like it. Okay. I've got I think so there's a couple new ones out on Netflix here.
Oh yeah.
Um which one am I gonna do? You know what? I'm gonna go with I want to do the Jimmy Carr thing, but part of me always feels like I'm not sure that I don't know how I feel about Jimmy Carr.
Yeah.
But I know I like Neil Brennan. So we're gonna do Neil Brennan Crazy Good.
Neil Brennan. This might be our third Neil Brennan special.
Yeah, it might be. Might be.
Well, yeah, we did blocks. We did three mics. Is this our fourth? Did he do one before that?
No, I think that's well, those are the only three he
Those are the
has on it's part of a collection, if you will.
Oh,
So Blocks was in wow, Blocks was 2020. It's three in a row.
yeah.
Blocks was in 2022. Three Mics was 2020. No, Three Mics was 2017.
Was it really?
Yeah. Three Mics was 2017.
So we did that one well after he had done it.
It had
Oh,
to
yeah,
be because I
a
feel
few
like we
years
didn't do it
after.
that long ago.
Yeah. Huh. I would have lost that bet.
Yeah.
What's this new one called again?
Crazy Good.
Crazy good.
Crazy Good. Is
We'll
it me
see
or
what
does
his,
it look like he's on some kind of drug? Like he's a very thin person,
he's a
like sickly thin,
strange looking guy.
sickly thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. We've spent a lot of time bashing people's and I mean look at
Look,
this.
when you look
mean-
like us and you're as ugly as I am, might be one of the best looking dudes I've ever met in my life.
Okay.
But when you're as ugly as I am, I can talk about anybody because there's no one that you can say whatever you want about me. It don't bother me one bit.
We're allowed to
I
say
know
the
I
U, we're allowed to say the U word.
you word.
Ugly.
Oh yeah. Is
Yeah.
that yeah? I'm allowed to say the ugly word for sure. I've got my right eye is lower than my left eye, and it's always a little bit closed. I've got a nose that goes to the side and has a giant hump in it.
Nose that goes.
Nose that goes. I'm fat. My man boobs are usually hanging out as they are right now. Yeah, yeah. Trust me, I know where I'm at. I got a little tiny chicklet for teeth. I don't own an upper lip. I mean, there's a lot, bud. There's a lot. God gifted a lot of people with two lips. I only got a bottom. So
we're
I'll talk about anybody I want.
we are always our own worst critics, aren't we?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Thank God people don't really see us as we see ourselves.
I was talking to somebody about how my right eye is like it's a hair lower and it does kind of it's a little bit more closed, but like you don't recognize it unless you like look at it, right? Like I look at myself in the mirror every single day. A lot of people probably don't even notice it. Maybe they do. I don't know. But somebody was like,
I've known you for 40 years and I've never
Yeah.
noticed that.
So somebody one time was like, "Oh yeah, my son has the exact same thing, and it's called da 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 da." And I looked it up, and that is not what I have. Bro, that no, no, that my friend, like I ain't even got a touch of that. Just saying.
All right.
Just saying. I don't know. I don't remember what it was called, but I don't even like
those are the
I don't know your son. Like I, a customer of mine, I don't know your son, but if he's got that,
he's up in the bell tower ringing the church bells.
he is my friend. Yes, he is. We call him Quasi for short.
Oh my God. All right, I won't release this episode, but next time we'll come back.
I'll put it out there. I got no problem with it. Like I said, I'm the ugliest dude you ever met. Is
Yeah.
that a bad word now? Are you not allowed to say ugly? Is that like fat? Like you can't say the word fat anymore?
No, I was just kidding.
Okay. There was a paper that one of my kids brought home in like kindergarten, and it said fat man, and it had a fat guy there, and like you had to read it, and you had to see, no, it was individual words. It was like fat, bat, cat, and you had to draw a line to which one was which, and it was a fat guy. And my wife was so mad. That's not how they should be seeing it. And I was like, I mean, he's fat.
That is tough in kindergarten to
Yeah,
teach
but
them
you're
that.
teaching body shaming. I get it. I mean, that's what,
Yeah. And kids don't realize, like they'll say
uh,
that stuff in front of people.
hell yeah. They'll be like, oh, that's a fat. Oh, you're fat.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, 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 what? Isn't that what it's called? I mean, yeah, but
Yeah. But this man is trying to do his grocery shopping and we don't know him. So
Daddy, isn't that a boy? Oh, my son said that one day. Did I ever tell you the McDonald's story?
I don't know.
We go through the McDonald's drive-through, and there's a guy who always had lipstick on, a little bit of stubble, and
Okay.
he got himself a nice set and that he paid for, and some fingernails. Or maybe maybe he didn't pay for it. Maybe there was just some stuff stuffed inside of whatever, and makeup, but always had stubble. Like the stubble was always there, and it was 1,000, like it's 100% a dude. And ooh, Parker was, I don't know, 3 maybe, and it would always call you sweetie. Like, oh, sweetie, thank you for giving the money. $7, sweetie. Parker's in the back. Parker's in the back. Dad, isn't that a boy? Dad, is that a boy? And I'm sorry. Quiet. Shut up, boy. Shut up, dude. I don't, how do you answer that? I mean, I don't know. What are you now? Like, you ask? Is that what you do? Is it polite to ask?
I don't know. I don't know the answer. That's all I got. I don't know.
I totally expect you to have the answer to that.
I thank you.
When Erin was at UC, she had to take a training course on, like, if somebody was in that transgender community or whatever, they had a little
take a training course.
she had to take a training course. Listen to you. I would
That's terrible. You're not supposed to say that anymore.
It wasn't a training course.
I was only for the joke. I
Yes.
don't actually call people that.
No. No. Anyway, so there's like a little certain colored dot or whatever that pop up on the screen, and they would get forwarded to her. So she's the one that I should ask, because she's the most politically correct person when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, is it okay to go, phone rings, boom, boom, Bart Johnson, and it's got a little thing up there, and you're like, well, here we go. Hello, Johnson. Hello, Bart. Like, what? Can't say Mrs. Johnson or Mr. Johnson because you don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
How are you? Well, I am not a you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you calling me ugly? The U word? That's where I was going with that. I tried to make that a joke too, but so
I'm not a you was good enough.
We tend to do this at the end where we probably had a decent, it probably wasn't going bad, and then we just get ourselves in trouble.
Yeah.
Total trouble.
Oh, I'm gonna fast forward to this part.
This is probably
this
the best part. If we didn't have like grandparents and parents and like other, try not to offend people.
Sure.
Oh boy, this would be
Sure. We could make this a different rated podcast if we wanted to, but
we'd be kicked off YouTube by now.
yeah, I don't know that we have the if we were like already famous for something, or if we had a big following
How
or
about
something,
being
I feel like
famous for having two different sized eyes?
yeah, that's what you're known for.
Yep, that's me. That's me.
All right. I think we've got our stuff set for next week. We'll see what happens. We'll talk NBA playoffs a little bit again. Uh and we'll have our Mount Rushmore of jobs you would never want to do
Hmm.
and Neil Brennan
I like it.
comedy special. So,
Yeah.
and who knows what else. Actually, I already have a question I want to ask you about, and I think you already saw it, but and we're gonna say that for next week because
I like it.
it's just interesting to me. I just want to know your opinion.
Okay. Was it something that you talked to me about possibly doing this week?
It's something in that list that I sent you at the very last second before I came over
Okay,
here.
now I want to know what it is.
I mean, we can talk about it right now if you want. I don't care.
If you don't care, why not? I got nothing else to do. What do you want to do?
I Chris, how long has it been since you've heard about the Bermuda Triangle doing anything to anybody?
I remember seeing that on there. We're saving that for next week.
Okay. I mean, it hasn't swallowed up anybody in a long time, or did people figure it out?
Or do we not know if it has?
I mean, it shouldn't it be in the news if
Here's
so
my
much
question.
lost?
Here's my question.
Is that what happened to that little capsule that the rich people took to the bottom of the ocean?
And then they just blew up. That was controlled by a PlayStation controller.
Yeah, something like that.
So if the Bermuda Triangle was a thing that people know about, why are we sailing through it still? Why are we flying through it still?
Yeah, are we?
I I don't know. I
Are
mean,
are people routing around it all every day?
I would. Would you?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going in there. Are you
No,
kidding me? I
no.
sleep with the lights on when I'm out of town.
Yeah. I sleep with them when I'm in town.
If I didn't have a wife, I would too, but she likes it dark.
I mean, come on. It's you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, the Bermuda Triangle was this big, amazing, scary thing when we were kids, and we heard about
Yeah.
things, this ships and stuff
Yes.
disappearing, and I haven't heard about it. I feel like in 20 years or more.
All right. So I'm gonna look up the latest, the oh boy, the last few, the latest instances, latest stories of the Bermuda Triangle
Same.
going into dude, that's my wife. That's all I go to bed every night with conspiracy stuff. That's what's on TV every night. And she
Yeah.
always falls asleep and can't find the remote. And I can't go to sleep when the TV's on. So I'm up till 2 o'clock in the morning, like actually interested in like, all right, what is this all about? Like we got a space alien coming through here. There's a lot of alien stuff. So I'm sure there's some Bermuda. It's got to have something to do with aliens,
We
right?
did find out recently that they could be at the bottom of the ocean or whatever, right?
Yeah, is that Atlanta?
Uh,
Is that where Atlantis is? Don't do, is that
yeah.
an old like isn't Atlantis like an old uh alien living ground? Did we find out they could be underwater? How did we find
Yeah,
that out?
I thought that was one of the things recently
Yeah.
that yeah, like when like the government started
Oh,
coming
the
out and
Tic Tac
saying
thing because it was over the ocean and then it just like didn't it like just
that might have been
disappear into the ocean or something? They
that
don't know
might
where
have
it
been
went.
part of it. That might have been part of it. But I feel like there's like people think that there
I
are
mean, have you ever seen some of those fish they find really, really
yeah,
deep?
yeah.
Or creepy as
There's
hell.
some weird stuff down there.
What if aliens were just fish?
Um I mean that's why I don't go more than a foot into the ocean.
You don't want to get abducted by a fish?
That's right.
I don't blame you.
Now, when I want to swim with the when I want to swim with the dolphins, you step into the ocean, you're swimming with all of the dolphins.
As soon as you step into it.
Mhm.
Which one was that from last week's
That was
comedy
from
special?
Demetri Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was this week's
Somebody,
Demetri. That's what
somebody,
that one was. Yeah.
his friend asked him if he ever
Yeah.
swimming with dolphins. He's like, well, yeah.
All of them.
How like what proximity are we talking about? When he's like, when I want to go, sometimes I want to go swimming without the dolphins, and I have to find a pool.
Oh, goodness.
All right.
All right. So Neil Brennan and What was give me the worst jobs.
Worst jobs.
All right. Till next time, don't forget to turn your headlights on.